Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession here on the Avian and Loaded channel. It's me, your old pal, Avian and Loaded, and here we have kind of a twofer, which is two different versions of Thor. One is actually a villain who modeled his appearance on Thor. On the left here we have the Thor Herald of Galactus, which is, I believe, also the skin that you can play Thor as in Fortnite, or could at some point. Comes with the collector Build-A-Figure head there. And then here from the, see, that's, controller. Did I say collector? The collector is an actual character, but no, the controller. So from the controller Build-A-Figure wave, and then from the Zabu, Kazar's saber-toothed cat Build-A-Figure wave, we have Black Winter, who I believe was out to kill Galactus in the comics in which he appeared. I haven't read them, can't speak to their quality. I have owned both of these figures before and gotten rid of them in my last major Marvel Legends purge, but recently reacquired them. I've been trying to rebuild. If you've been following along here for 300 episodes plus of Action Figure Obsession, at some point you may have heard me mention that one of my low-key display goals is to have a fairly decent Asgardian shelf, and I thought these two guys would be a good addition to that. And they're also an interesting example of how Hasbro does what it does, and I'm not casting judgment here at all because I think these are both good-looking figures. But you might notice, if you look carefully, that other than the heads and some of the accessories, it is the same exact figure. Don't look at the colors, don't look at the paint, just look at the details on the costume. They are the same figure. And it makes sense because when Black Winter took on the aspect of Thor to fight Galactus, this is what Thor looked like at the time, so it makes sense. It's one of the, it's not really an egregious case of reuse like Hasbro has occasionally done from time to time in the Marvel Legends line. But there's really no reason not to do it, and there probably would have even been people who asked for it if they hadn't done it. And maybe there were, I don't know. As I say, I want these guys on my my growing Asgard shelf, and I really do like this look for Thor. I like this better than I like the Maximum Thor look, I think. I don't know how wild I am about the head sculpt. I do have an extra Sentry head sculpt from the Walgreens Sentry, because I put the Void head on him and put him in my villains display next to Norman Osborn, sort of a mini Dark Avengers kind of thing going on. I do have an idea for this Zabu head, too. I already have Zabu, but the idea of an extra Zabu head gives me a very mischievous idea for something, for a diorama piece that I may do. We'll see what happens with that. But I'm going to pause the video now, and I'll unbox these guys so you can see everything that they come with, and then we'll go from there. How's that sound? All right, so here they are out of the box, and on the left we have, center left, we have the Herald of Galactus Thor, a.k.a. Fortnite Thor, and then to his right we have Black Winter Thor, who is a very powerful villain, destroyer of universes, I think he is. Why am I not just reading the box? Well, I don't know. I'm so bad at this. Black Winter, the devourer of universes, materializes as a dark version of Thor in order to threaten the god of thunder. And while we're here with the box, we can quickly go over the Build-A-Figure wave. I did this, Zabu, I think, was one of the last Build-A-Figures that I completed. I'm not sure if he came first or Blackheart. One of those two was the last one that I completed. As you can see by the little number, see how it gives you the number of the part next to the figure, next to the Build-A-Figure? And then it tells you what figure you need for each part. You'll notice on the far left, Superior Iron Man does not have a number. And I was grateful for that he did not include a Build-A-Figure piece, because I did not want that figure. So after Iron Man, Superior Iron Man, which was kind of a arrogant, villainous kind of version of Iron Man, we get those every once in a while. Um, then left to right, we have Black Winter. We have Wolfsbane, which was a really gummy, terrible figure, and I kept her for about a day. Kazar, or Kazar, as some people call him. Fabulous figure. I have two of him, including one right here on the workbench, because I don't ever like him to be too far away from me. Love Kazar, one of my all-time favorite Marvel Comics characters. Red Widow, who I do have, but have never really found any good use for. Have occasionally thought about kit bashing her into more like a Natasha Romanoff Black Widow. Might still do that. I go through different phases with her. That cape that's on her is a hard plastic, and it really limits the articulation. Then Icarus, one of the great Jack Kirby characters from the Eternals. Great Jack Kirby design. Not wild about the head sculpt on Icarus, but I do have him. He is on my Jack Kirby shelf. And then Cable, which is apparently the Marvel vs. Capcom version of Cable. This is one of the early indicators that they were going to go in that sort of Gamerverse Marvel vs. Capcom direction. And I have two of those Cables because I love Cable. I love people with evil twins. I love time travelers. And I love guys with metal robot arms. And Cable, ding, 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 ticks all three of those boxes. So had to have two of those Cables. And it's also one of my favorite costumes for Cable, looking as it does a lot like Cable looked during the Joe Casey and Jose Ladrone run on Cable back in the 90s. So that's that one. That's the Black Winter box. And then for Thor here, Thor does the unthinkable when he becomes the newest Herald of Galactus, aligning with the Great Devourer to stop an even greater threat. I wonder what that even greater threat might be. And as you can see, Thor here with his ravens, his father's ravens, Hugin and Munin. Is that correct? Does that sound right? If not, sound off in the comments, but I think that's their names. And it does amuse me that I have another set of these now, because I think this is my third set of Odin's Ravens. I have the ones that came with Odin. I have the previous set that came with this Thor that I kept when I got rid of the figure, and now I have these guys. So I have 6 of these Ravens running around. I wish they had more than just the 2 poses, because, having 6 of an animal figure, that's kind of cool. Hasbro does pretty good on the animal figures. The only thing they dropped the ball on with the Ravens here is there is 0 paint on these ones. The Odin ones have at least a little, I think, purple, like a dark purple wash on their feathers or on their backs. But nothing with this one. So that these are just 2 black unpainted birds. But they're supernatural. They're otherworldly. Maybe they just have black eyes. Who knows? Then we have the Build-A-Figure piece that comes with Thor. It is the controller head. The controller is a Build-A-Figure I had 0 interest in. It is, I believe, the pieces came from a previous Thanos figure, and this head certainly seems to be about the same size as a Thanos. And this will be going into my recently begun, ever since I started getting a bunch of older figures with Build-A-Figure parts. This is my Build-A-Figure parts, unwanted Build-A-Figure parts, it should say, bag there. And I don't think this is going to go in that bag for reasons that I will explain either later in this video or in the next video. So then we have the Black Winter Thor. Well, I guess we should, I'll show you each one in turn. We'll start with the good guy. So this is the Herald of Galactus Thor, the Fortnite Thor, as he's called, also. Great big mane of pale blonde hair that prevents his head from turning much at all. I've seen people put other Thor heads on this figure. That's not out of the question that I'll do that, but most Thor heads are fairly unmovable because Thor usually has very long hair, the exception being maybe a couple of the movie figures. And even longer hair on this crazy Black Winter figure. Get a load of this. Get a load of this hair, and you can bet that hair ain't going anywhere. That is just hair for days. you could throw that at somebody and do some harm if you were so inclined. His head likes to tilt back because the hair is so heavy. I see that. Um, and obviously, there's not a whole lot of movement you're going to get out of this head either. Um, and as I say, it's the same costume, the same parts for the like 95% of it. I think only the head is different. The weird thing about this to me, and it might be accurate to the comic art, I'm not 100% sure, but you know, Thor's sort of scale, it's not really scale mail, but whatever that's called, the armor that he has on his arms and that look, you know, this figure has that too because it's the same mold. It's weird to me that the armor is the same color as his face. You'd think maybe they could have done a darker silver or some sort of gray wash or gunmetal gray or something else other than just. I mean, I don't know. It looks a little lighter. Maybe they did do something to it. Little silver wash. Maybe I'm crazy, or maybe it's just an illusion of the light. But look at the fist, and then look at that. I don't know. It just seems like it's meant to be his skin, from what I can tell or from what I can see. It just seems like that was a little bit of a weird choice to have it be so close to his skin color. Neither one of these guys is particularly well articulated. They both have single jointed elbows, so there's not a lot you can do there. I don't think they have butterfly joints at the shoulders, and obviously the skirt pieces are going to restrict a whole lot of the hip movement. Basically, you get these because you want them to stand there and look good, look intimidating. One of the coolest special effects that I think Hasbro has ever included with one of their Marvel Legends figures is, so you get, well, first of all, Thor comes with a lightninged up Mjolnir and a piece of lightning that you can attach to it to give you the effect that it's shooting off electricity. So that's cool. Thor also comes with two fist hands. He comes with a gripping hand for his right hand and kind of a style pose hand for his left hand, and then you can replace them both with the fists. There is, on the belt of each of these guys, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little strap in there. I do like how the cape is painted on Thor, because it's red on the black, and you get a little white stripe, and then purple and red on the inside. That's a lot of paint for Hasbro. I don't know if you can see that strap there, just under his elbow, behind his forearm. You can slide the hammer through there, so it can be held that way. Kind of wish he had come with a regular Mjolnir in addition to the sort of powered up one, because it's weird to have him carrying around one that's constantly glowing with power. But again, I didn't read the comics. Maybe his hammer was quote unquote always on. I don't know. And obviously, Black Winter has that same strap on your left, his right, of his hip there, so he can carry his hammer as well. The smoke effect, which I think is just absolutely stunning, for his version of Mjolnir, which is a solid dark black and very threatening and dangerous looking. This smoke effect does come off. It sort of keys into it. It has a square cutout or rectangular cutout, and you can pull it out. I'm not going to do it on camera, but as you can see, it'll slide right off that away. If you want to take it off and maybe use it for something else, like Venom or something like that. But it is made for this hammer. This is the first time, and to my knowledge, the only time they've used this effect. And look at that. Doesn't that just freaking look cool? Not something you expect from Hasbro. It's shocking that they didn't just throw in one of their lame old effects pieces that they've used a billion times over, but they actually created a new one. So far as I know, this is the first and only time that has been used. And then out of the box, Black Winter comes with two fisted hands, and then he has a hammer holding hand as an alternate hand, and again a style pose hand. So I think it's the same set of hands on both figures. They just mixed it up as to who had what straight out of the box. And his cape is different than Thor's as well. It is a super cool translucent. If you look carefully, you can see his body through it. Translucent, super tattered, Why didn't Despair get something that cool when they did Despair? If I had a Despair, I think I'd buy an extra Black Winter just to give him that cape. But it is very cool looking, very ominous, very malevolent looking. And then we have the head of Zabu. Good kitty. Good kitty. I love me a kitty cat. Have loved Zabu since I became a huge Kazar fan in the 80s during the Bruce Jones, Brent Anderson Kazar run. He's got that, did you notice what I did there? He's got that adjustable jaw, so you can have him roaring or, just glaring with his mouth shut, or mostly shut, and those saber-tooth teeth there. Nicely, I assume those are painted. Same color as the teeth. I don't think that they don't look like they were. It's hard to tell though. They could have been molded in that color and then glued in, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it. It looks like they are painted. But I just have a thought for something that I could do with this head, for a diorama display. Can you see the vision, as they like to say on Reddit? Can you see the vision? And I have a round stand that I could sticky tack it to. And it's a very dark idea that I have, my friends, and I don't think Zabu would approve. But on the other hand, even the complete Zabu that I have over in my X-Men Savage Land display, I don't think that he's going to make his way over here and show me his displeasure. So I think it'll be okay. And then we have that controller head. I got to do something with that, and I'll just show you everything that's in this. Hold on. Really got to get a tripod. So here's everything that's in here. And actually, some of these I've had literally for years. Here's the controller head. Here is the Red Skull head from the Red Onslaught Build-A-Figure. I've had that since that came out. Same with the Onslaught helmet that went to the same figure. So those actually go together. You can see they're about the same size. Here is a Thanos head. Here is another Thanos head. I think that's the one from Endgame, the battle-damaged Thanos. Here is the Mandroid head that came with... I think he came with Wolf Cap. If he didn't come with Wolf Cap, he came with the Marvel Now cap. I'm not sure which one. Then we got Mr. Hyde here. At one point, I did have Mr. Hyde built, but and I also had, I think, this Thanos built, but they replaced him with a better deluxe version. I never completed the Mandroid or Red Onslaught or the controller. I know I did at least one, possibly both of those Thanoses, but it was like another lifetime ago. When you do a purge, you just kind of purge it all from your mind, And then from Avengers Infinity War, this is it was a Cull Obsidian, I think was his name. I've had this head since it came out, which was, I think, 2017, something like that. So these have all been in my fodder bins. We have a leg here, and the foot makes me think, yeah, is this the one that came with the Red Skull? What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he was originally called the Hulk in the comics, but then they made the real Hulk and they renamed him something else. I forget his name, but he's like a combination of Abominable Snowman and Robot, if I recall correctly. That'll never get built. Here's the Joe Fixit left arm. I have the Joe Fixit Deluxe that they re-released as a Walmart exclusive with a better looking flesh tone. On the Hulk, look more gray. This is more of a green, like a baby shit green. Not a big fan of that one. I did complete that one, and then I hated it and got rid of it. And then this is the leg, I believe, to the original Build-A-Figure Thanos from like 2015 or 2016. Back in the day, it was later re-released. I believe that's what this is, and it was later re-released as a... I think that's what this is. Later re-released as a deluxe Walmart exclusive, which I think I have a couple of those in my collection. Oh, and then finally I've got 3 pieces from Red Onslaught here. So the Red Skull head, the Onslaught head, and then his sort of carapace / cape piece, which I had thought I was going to do something with, but I don't think I am. So part of an action figure obsession, my friends, especially if you're a Marvel Legends collector, is in addition to, collecting figures for multiple reasons and dubious reasons sometimes, and just because you want a nice Asgard shelf with a bunch of Thor and Thor adjacent characters on it, you also do things that make you end up with Build-A-Figure parts, and you look at them and you're like, there was a market for these 5, 10 years ago. You could get somebody to buy a Mr. Hyde head or a Red Skull head for $10 or $12, and trade back and forth and sell them cheap just to regain a little bit of your investment. I forgot to mention the SPDR robot head here. I'm so shocked they never did a deluxe SPDR with Penny Parker. They really they missed the boat there and left a lot of money on the table, I think. But yeah, so that's my little sack of unwanted, unloved Build-A-Figure parts there. And then Fortnite Thor, Herald of Galactus Thor, and Black Winter, in parentheses Thor, as it says on the box. And of course the head of Zabu, the prehistoric saber-toothed tiger, from the Savage Land. And that's what we got for you today, folks. There's your unboxing. That's about it. I am going to put these guys together with all their accessories and stick them in my Asgard shelf. And at some point, I hope to do a 2026 display video that'll show you all the shelves in the toy room and where they're at now, because most of them have changed a great deal since the 2025 video. You'll find that in the archives. Just do a search for, if you go on my main homepage of Avian and Loaded and hit the search box and just put in Toy Room Tour. I think that's what I called it, maybe Toy Room Tour 2025 or 2025 Toy Room Tour. But that's where you can get a look at what my displays looked like last year, and a lot of them have changed quite a bit. I don't even think I had this work table full of crazy shit, kit bashes and doubles, and figures that are too big to display anywhere at the moment. Did you notice, by the way, I put Bucky here, the Winter Soldier, one of the movie Winter Soldiers, on the glider from the Fortnite line, that black glider. I forget what that was called. And then we got Captain America, Sam Wilson over here on a flight stand, and my kind of just for fun Superman kit bash thingy. And then over there we have the MCU Falcon, who I think might end up in my Spider-Man display as a comic book vulture, just because I really have no affinity for the character of the Falcon from the movies, but I could use a vulture in my Spider-Man display, and I somehow think that might work. What do you think? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, please, and leave any comments, thoughts, observations, analysis, recommendations for therapists below in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, do hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you'll be updated anytime I upload a new action figure obsession video here on the Avian and Loaded channel. And that will do it for now. I will see you, my friends, on the next one.